The first time I felt inspired was by my grandmother, and she's really my godmother, and she raised me because I couldn't be at home with my brothers. My brothers had just decided no girls are allowed in the house, so they thought it might be safer if I was raised by my godparents. And they were the type of people that made my childhood a fantasy land. They had wanted a small child in the home, and they bent over backwards, so I became proverbial spoiled brat. But they had the idea that a child could do anything. Whatever it was that you wanted to do, you should have the liberty to do it and explore it in your own way without anybody criticizing you. So I wasn't criticized too much, but my grandfather was a boxing trainer, so we had to go to a lot of banquets and whatnot. And yes, they supported me in whatever it was that I wanted to do and gave me the idea that I could dream and that dreams could come true. And I was very, very lucky that they had the monetary means to do that, to allow me to explore things that I had never explored before. They were also very heavily Roman Catholic, so my day began going to Mass, which is not a fun thing when you're a kid. But my grandmother always put paper, pencil, crayons, paint, whatever it was that I wanted to work with, clay. She would have those things available, and I could do that. So I spent a lot of time by myself doing things. And watching her, she used to restore the statues in the church when they get a little bit chipped, and she would match the paint so that when you looked at the statue, you never knew that it had been restored. And one of my earliest memories was going with her to a baptism at some Episcopal church, and she had done the mural on the wall. And I think that's where the inspiration later in life came from.
Can you talk more about power and how that's a source of inspiration? Are there other times when power has been a source of inspiration?
Yeah. I think it's an underlying theme with me because as a child I felt so powerless that I could not control my world, that the people I wanted in my world, I couldn't command them to be there with me. I couldn't command them to tell me the answers to their secrets, and why adults said certain things, or they never let children know. And it all came back from, because my godfather was a sharecropper, and apparently he had been friends with my family and from the South where he came from. And so there's a lot of secrets in Southern families, a lot of different ties, and they never tell the children what the problem is. They always say, I'll take it to my grave, and invariably they do. So as a child I felt very powerless and controlled by either older children or older adults. So I was very shy and not very talkative. I know it doesn't seem like that, but it's the truth. I'm basically very, very shy. So this is phenomenal. You're getting me on camera, okay?
You're doing a wonderful job, that's for sure. Okay. So do you remember another moment of power when as a source of inspiration?
This is going to sound awfully stupid and awfully dumb, but it is sort of like what I consider power. I consider power a personal thing, and like my friend that went just before me, I was a tomboy. I was into any action, anything. I wanted my braids to be longer, so I tore up a scarf and braided them and put it on the end of a drumstick and stuck it in my hair so I had long braids. And then I got a towel and I pinned it because I wanted to be Superman. At the time, they didn't tell me about Superwoman or Supergirl, but they did let me be Superman. Now, remember, my godparents said I could be anything I want. Well, they were building a garage. So I was the proverbial 50s kid, go out. You cannot stay in the house. You got to go outside and play. So to me, Superman was the most powerful person in the whole wide world. And if I could if I could fly like him, I could do anything. So the first day, I experimented with an old refrigerator box. We had just gotten a new refrigerator, so they give you the big box. And my grandfather had gone through the whole thing of cutting out the windows and the doors and all of that, but it fell over. So I used it as a giant slide, and I could slide from the top of the box and hit the gravel in the driveway. So I decided, hey, that garage isn't very big, and we had a cherry tree. So it was either the garage or the cherry tree. So I decided I can do one better. My uncle had come from the South to visit us, and he had smoked a cigarette in bed, set the mattress on fire. They put it out with the garden hose, threw the mattress out the window. Mattress lying underneath the attic window. Cherry tree, mattress, house, tall window. So I went up to the attic window, opened it up, my little cake, I'm ready now, and I decided I'll land on the mattress. But I didn't take into consideration the cherry tree was in the way. So I jumped out the window, and luckily I didn't die, but I landed in the cherry tree. So then I was stuck, because they had this ridiculous thing that if your pants didn't fit, they put suspenders on you. So the suspenders is what caught me in the cherry tree. So my feet were dangling out of the cherry tree right above the mattress, which of course, my grandmother came out, nearly had a heart attack, went back in and got my grandfather, who was a lot taller, and he helped me out of the cherry tree. Never said, don't jump out the window. Never said, that's a dangerous thing to do. He said, just be careful next time. Make sure you hit the mattress. And that was that. But it was that feeling of flying out that window with not a care in the world. I really believed that I was powerful enough within myself that I would fly. And I must have done pretty good, because I didn't kill myself. So lots of times power, as I said, it comes from inside when you most need it. And that's what I think.